Here on this.
Well, we all know what a scarf wearer that you are,
I
and
was gonna say I'll pull it out. I'll pull it out.
but I mean, I think it's really intense. Um, as far as the negative reaction that's popping off now, Danny Garcia, hip thruster himself, out of left field, just says, "I want a match," and they gave it to him. Joe wants a match; he doesn't get one. Other people want a match; they don't get one. It's just Daniel Garcia is going to get one. MJF's going to be on the pre-show and the main event of another pay-per-view. Is he spread too thin? Is there a lack of focus opposed to what they're trying to accomplish of a whole bunch of interest?
Separate answers for both those. Is he spread too thin? Yes. I also think his boss is spread too thin. Is there a lack of focus? It comes debatable because to me, everybody, like I've said before, everybody's focus should be on the world champion. But he has the problem of being too good at everything. He's great. He's the best heel you've got, and he's the best babyface you've got right now. He has the best talent you have at this point. And that becomes the issue of come 2024. Is he still under AEW?
Well,
is this now just, well, I've done anything and everything I can do here, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, he might max out. And I mean, to me, it's like having a star.
No pun intended.
Right? You have a star quarterback that you also ask, to play defensive back or defensive tackle, or play wide receiver in addition to play quarterback. Like, it's almost getting impossible. And our buddy Anthony, who watched the show with me last night, literally, Jay White is supposed to be this big deal, a superstar that you signed, that now you're heading into full gear. And he seems like an afterthought. Mark Briscoe's going to fight Jay White to try and get MJF's belt back. And I've never seen Mark Briscoe and MJF chit chat or like each other or be on the same page.
But this goes down into the whole thing of booking versus literally just making fantasy matches and everything. It's creative versus booking and everything. And that's what Tony Khan does. I'll make the greatest matches you'll ever see. You'll want to tune in just for the matches. There is fuck and all when it comes to storyline on anything. And we even talked about it when we're here for MJF versus Omega. We're like, did they forget that this man's about to pass the record for longest title reign? Like, isn't this the company that had bookkeeping and stat keeping and ratings and rankings and everything like that? And you forget that this shit happened?
Yeah. No, and I completely agree with that. Like, I mean, there seems to be no planning ahead. And to me, a great matchmaker makes matches that mean something. And you call it booker, you call it matchmaker, you call it whatever it is. But again, I think people are starting to get tired. And I think we talked about this a lot. You and I, about even your favorite show. Like, you'll watch a show, but you generally give up on a show that's purely episodic, where one episode means nothing to the other. To have that weekly buy-in is hit and miss. But when you have a show that carries you through, you got to binge watch every episode because the next thing's leading to the next thing. That's where the money is at. And you might be right. MJF might have hit a point where he's done it all in this company. And if he wants to expand, similar to Jade, he's got to move on.
Well, and that begs the question of like what we were talking about there with Ric Flair and everything like that, of have you turned enough people away, of have we gotten to that point of you only have your core audience at this point, you're not trying to develop any new audience, and that MJF has just become your fucking bastion, your beacon, your buoy for anything that's going to keep you afloat, as far as ratings, as far as drawing attention, as far as drawing eyes. Respectfully, and that's not taking away from any performers, but it's to be at that level that they want to be at, of why they want to say they're knocking on WWE's door and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a fair argument at this point. I think it's very clear that there's miles apart. They're not even WCW as far as
so more likely to sign with WWE, Will Ospreay or MJF, or both. Or both.
It might be both. I mean, again, WWE, especially with it public that Triple H is the guy, does Triple H have the ability to sit on the phone with a Will Ospreay and MJF, CM Punk, the list goes on, and convince them that this is a new WWE and you will be highlighted. We will
I,
roll
I
out the
have a
red fucking carpet.
I have a side question that no one's entered into the CM Punk argument and everything like that. As I see, we're getting towards the very end here. If you sign an MGF, do you need to sign CM Punk?
I don't think they
Is
need.
MGF not
Mhm,
your 2023, your modern era
mhm.
version of CM Punk, of the fucking straw that stirs the drink?
Yeah, you know what? That's a very good question. I think in my head, it's almost you don't have to sign any of these guys. You don't have to sign. I mean, going through 2023 and breaking all these records and doing all the stuff they're doing, selling out everywhere they go. 2024, they're going global in a bigger way than they did in 2023. They don't have to sign anybody, but I think they might want to just because. And again, how stacked does this roster become? Let's ignore Punk because apparently we're going to talk about Punk at the end here because news came out today about that. But if you
Yeah.
have Osprey, you have MJF, you have Jade on the ranks, then you got the young talent that's already being built, the Braun Breakers of the world. Man, the future looks bright for WWE. AEW is looking old.
WCW, but 100% though, if you can snatch an MJF out of AW, you're Shang Tsung. You're stealing their soul out of that. Of you stolen their spine.